Arabica coffee grows within a narrow coffee belt near the equator, but it only thrives in very specific microclimates. It needs the right altitude, stable temperatures, and reliable rainfall. Climate change is now pushing those limits. Rising temperatures, shifting rainfall patterns, and increasing pest pressure are already affecting major producers like Brazil, Colombia, and Ethiopia. That raises a key question for the market. Can coffee production actually move as the climate changes? I'm Johanna Bota, and joining me today is Fernando Maximiliano, risk management consultant at StoneX Brazil, specializing in coffee. Welcome back, Fernando.
Hi, Johanna. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
It's lovely to see you again. Let's start talking about risk management. So from a risk management perspective, how exposed is Brazilian coffee production to rising temperatures and the shifting rainfall patterns that we see?
Well, Brazil is well exposed. When we look at the whole Brazilian production, most of it is Arabica production. And when you are looking at the Arabica production, most of it is not even does not even account with irrigation systems. So Brazil is exposed to those weather changes. The risk of elevated temperatures is something that imposes risks to Arabica. And in Arabica, it has this special situation because it needs a certain temperature to produce. It cannot stand with very high temperatures. It's different if you compare to the Robusta production. So yes, Brazil, it is exposed at certain level to these changes in terms of weather and climate change.
And as conditions warm, does pest and disease pressure increase? Like, how does that change yield risk and price volatility for Brazilian coffee producers?
Well, looking at Brazil right now, it's important to mention that Brazil applies a very high level of technology in its crop protection. So Brazil is well prepared. And I would say Brazil is the most prepared country to deal with the changes that we are seeing and we will face in the future. But of course, the changes in terms of the climate change impose an elevated risk of new diseases and new pests that could arise and could impact the production. So for now, I would say the technology that is being applied is being able to give a good control of those problems, but it is something we have to keep an eye on because there is an increase in the risk of new problems arising in the future.
And that leads to a bigger question. There's growing talk of coffee climate migration. Is that a realistic option in Brazil? And what would it mean in practice for growers, land values, and long-term supply?
Johanna, to be honest with you, this is not something new because coffee is migrating already for a long time. So if we look back in the 70s, for example, Paraná used to be the largest producing state in Brazil. Paraná is in the southern portion of the country. And now the concentration of the production is in southeast and for Arabica is in Minas Gerais. So we saw coffee migrating northward. And that was because of weather as well. The reason we saw coffee moving back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s was because of the black frost in the Arabica production in Paraná. So we have weather issues already impacting and causing coffee to migrate in the country. Looking at the possibility of elevated temperatures, what we see is that coffee, Arabica coffee mostly, will probably migrate in terms of altitude. So it will be planted in higher areas because of the lower temperature you can find there. So that's something very important, and we expect that to happen as we see those climate changes. And also important to mention, when you look at the two species of coffee that is grown in Brazil, Robusta or Conilon. It is likely that its production will be benefited, the volume will increase because that species can deal better with higher temperatures when compared to the Arabica production.
That makes sense. Okay, so then tell me this, given these climate pressures, how are producers and traders adapting their risk management strategies, both on the farm and in the market?
Well, when we look at the farm, something crucial is irrigation. So, as I mentioned, Brazil is well exposed because most of Arabica production does not use irrigation systems. So, it is already happening in some Arabica areas. They are increasing their usage of irrigation. For Cerrado region, for example, it is well common to see irrigation systems being implanted. But in other regions as well, we are seeing this increase in the use of the technology, and it is something the farmers must do. But also, we expect, of course, the crop protection technology to continue to advance in terms of biological products and also in terms of technology itself, the efficiency of the products that are being applied. And finally, genetics. So we expect that new varieties with genetics adapted genetics will be used to face these changes. On the risk management side, it is very important for players to use strategies and risk management tools to deal with these problems. If we look at past 5 years, since 2020, we saw a set of problems or weather issues that impacted the global production. We had La Nina, we had drought, we had frost, we had El Nino, and we had heat waves, we had many problems that affected the production globally. And most important, it increased the volatility. And that is something that is a real threat to businesses and to market players. So it's very important to use hedging tools, to use strategies to manage their risk and then face those challenges that are happening and are coming in. And I forgot to mention, Johanna, something very important. It's not even the weather, the temperature itself, but also the increase in the number, in the frequency of extreme weather events. That's something we saw over the past years, and it is something that it is likely to continue to happen.
Fernando, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you to our viewers for watching. For more financial content, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.